Not even in my wildest Honolulu Blue dreams did I imagine we'd be sitting here seriously connecting this name to the heart of our defense, and yet tonight, that's exactly what's on the table for us. This is Lions News Fan Report. I'm here with you like always, talking straight to you as one of us. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through why the Logan Wilson situation has become one of the clearest x-rays of how real contenders think, how it lines up with what the Detroit Lions are building on defense, and if there's any real path, not fantasy, not clickbait, that could one day put a player like him in Honolulu Blue. I'm not dropping everything in the first 30 seconds because this story deserves to be understood, not just shouted, so stay with me until the end. We're going to talk profile, contract, scheme fit, leverage, and what this front office must do from now on if it wants to capitalize when players of this caliber shake loose. Let's start from Detroit, because all of this only makes sense alla luce di quello che siamo diventati. Over the last seasons, this franchise has gone from punchline to problem. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes turned this locker room into a place where toughness isn't a slogan, it's the minimum requirement, and where the defense has slowly caught up to the standard the offense set. You look at the second level, and you see growth that is real. Jack Campbell playing faster, Alex Anzalone has the voice in the huddle, Derek Barnes and the depth fighting for snaps, a unit that, while not perfect, doesn't flinch the way it used to. And yet, when you talk to people who study contenders, one idea keeps coming back. If this defense wants to win in late January, adding one more high IQ three-down linebacker in the middle, someone who erases mistakes, wins in coverage, and sets the tone physically, is the kind of move that can swing playoff games. That description fits Logan Wilson almost too well. We're talking about a player with range, diagnostics, and production, tackles, pass breakups, double-digit career interceptions, leadership responsibility in big moments. Not a flash guy, not just a run stuffer, but a linebacker who understands route concepts, reads quarterbacks, and finishes. That's exactly why when his role started to shrink and the noise out of Cincinnati grew, every serious fan base, including ours, quietly circled his name and thought, this is the archetype. Then came the twist. Reduced snaps, frustration, a trade request, and right before the deadline, the move that changed the board. Logan Wilson shipped out for a late pick, landing in a new home that believes it can rebuild its defense with his experience and instincts. And this is where I need to be completely honest with you. Perché vi rispetto e rispetto questa maglia. Right now, after that move, there is no straight line from where he is to Detroit in the immediate future. The deadline is passed, his contract travels with him, and teams don't flip a player like that twice in a heartbeat unless something goes horribly wrong. So no, there is no hidden agreement, no secret flight to Allen Park, no short-term miracle. But if we stop at that sentence, we miss the entire point of why his name matters for us. The real question isn't, is Logan Wilson on his way to Detroit tomorrow? It's, what does his situation teach us about how the Lions should behave the next time a player like Logan Wilson becomes available? Because when a proven three-down linebacker with contract control moves for cheap, what you're seeing is how fast value can shift when one staff downgrades a role and another sees an opening. E questo è esattamente il momento in cui una dirigenza seria entra in scena. For Detroit, the lesson is simple and powerful. This is precisely the profile you must be ready to target. Think about fit. Behind a front led by Aiden Hutchinson and a deeper, more violent rotation, a linebacker with Wilson's instincts would be a force multiplier. He wouldn't need the spotlight, he'd live in the dirty work, triggering downhill on run fits, carrying tight ends, undercutting crossers, turning tipped balls into takeaways. That kind of presence tightens the entire structure. The explosive plays that sometimes still sneak through the middle get cut down. Drives that used to be extended on third and medium become punts. You're not rewriting Aaron Glenn's system, you're empowering it. From a culture standpoint, it works the same way. Wilson's reputation has been that of a pro. Film, preparation, communication, physical edge without stupidity. That's Lions football now. This locker room has no patience for empty noise. It rewards guys who treat Sunday like a test they've already studied for all week. A veteran linebacker with that mindset doesn't block your young core, it sharpens it. That's why his name hits so hard emotionally for a fan base that finally recognizes itself in the team it watches. Economically, this is the type of contract ban you can manage if, and only if, it aligns perfectly with your window. You're not touching quarterback money, you're not touching premium edge numbers, you're investing in the brain and backbone of your defense. In a future scenario where a player of this mold becomes unsettled again, Detroit is now one of the few franchises structurally capable of saying, we can afford this, we have the snaps, we have the need, and we have the culture to make it worth it. That's the real evolution. But let me anchor it again so there is zero confusion. Today, Logan Wilson is locked up with another team, and any talk of him in Detroit lives in the realm of possibility, not promise. The value of this conversation is that it forces us to think like a franchise that expects to contend. Instead of throwing random names around, we identify the exact traits that fit our identity. 3-down reliability, coverage production, communication, toughness, no fear of big stages. Logan Wilson is that template. The next time the league mishandles a player like this, miscasting him, undervaluing him, soaring the relationship, the Lions can't be spectators. They have to be the team that already did the homework, already knows how he fits next to Jack Campbell, already has the cap clean enough and the draft resources flexible enough to move without panicking. From a pure football standpoint, you can see the picture. Campbell's length and downhill force paired with a veteran who thrives in space and in coverage behind a front that forces rushed decisions. Checkdowns die earlier. Crossers aren't free. Red zone windows shrink. That's how small, smart moves decide playoff games. And that is why thinking about a profile like Wilson's in this moment is not crazy talk. It's exactly what a grown-up operation should do. Now, I want you in this like always. Before we close, drop your thoughts below and think like people who know where this team is heading. If, in the next year or two, a real window opened and the price was reasonable, no one saying overpay, no tearing down what's been built, would you want a player in the Logan Wilson mold running the middle of this defense? Would you pull that trigger to take this unit from dangerous to dominant? Or would you keep betting everything on internal growth and invest that capital at corner, on the interior line, maybe on one more offensive weapon? Bring your scenarios, numbers, names. You know I read you, and this community has been ahead of the national narrative more than once. To wrap this up in a clear, direct way, the Logan Wilson storyline is less about a rumor to chase and more about a standard to embrace. The Lions don't need fantasy splashes to feel big time anymore. They are one of the organizations that must be ready for real opportunities that match their identity. Wilson today is elsewhere, and we respect that, but his case underlines the exact kind of move that can turn a strong defense into a championship one. Adding a true field general at linebacker who fits the culture, the scheme, and the timeline. If you're with me on that vision, or if you think the next big swing should land somewhere else, make your voice heard in the comments. And if you want to stay plugged into every serious rumor, every structural decision, and every potential move that could shape the future of our Detroit Lions, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, turn on your notifications, hit like, share this with that one friend who still underestimates what this franchise is becoming. Because every step from now on has to look like it belongs to a franchise chasing Lombardi, not respectability.